Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. Today on Thrive Loud, we bring you entrepreneur, technology influencer, and YouTube star on the ever-growing and popular channel Nothing But Tech 88, where there are unboxings, reviews, and vlogs about the latest technology products on the market. Thrive Loud listeners, Jacqueline Dallas. Jacqueline, welcome to Thrive Loud.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm excited to be here because we have many amazing guests on Thrive Loud, and to date, no one has been as young as you are. So I'm excited about this because this is a great story that our Thrive Loud listeners are going to love to listen to. I'm also excited because we are, I guess, co-broadcasting this both on the audio Thrive Loud channel, and we're doing it on Nothing But Tech 88 on your platform as well. So this is a lot of fun, new for me. Hello to all of those on your platform. I'm Lou Diamond and excited to be here. All right, so let's make it fun. I want to hear the story of Jacqueline Dallas and how this channel and this whole passion that you've been going through started. And if you could share with our listeners, that would be spectacular. And I'll interject accordingly. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, so I started on YouTube about 3 years ago. So prior to starting, I was watching a lot of other content creators on YouTube. And when I first started, my first video was an unboxing video of a microphone. And I was really into audio at that point. So I had watched a lot of reviews on it and I bought it. And then I made a pretty terrible unboxing video of it. And that was like the first ever video. And then from there, it was a lot of tutorials because a lot of my friends were always asking for tutorials. So I just decided to post them on YouTube also. And then it's kind of started growing from there. Brands started reaching out, and now it's been a lot more product-based.
Okay, so let's rewind for a little bit. How long ago was it, and how old were you when you first started the channel?
Okay, so when I first started the channel, I was like 13.
Oh my God. Okay.
And that was like 3 years ago, so I'm 16 now.
Okay, so in that span over the last 3 years, there's obviously a tremendous number of followers you have on the show. What other types, you started off with audio products. Tell me a little bit about the day-to-day business and how you choose to talk about the topics that you discuss on your show and what the whole idea is. Give us a walkthrough as a new product or what your purpose on the message of the show is.
Yeah, so I look at a lot of consumer electronics. So the most common things that people always ask about is like iPhones, iPads, Macs, Samsung Galaxy phones. Really anything like with an on button, as Marquez Brownlee says, is game. I'm willing to look at anything. And at first started out as audio stuff, and then and now it's like flagship smartphones and other consumer tech that a lot of people always ask about.
Gotcha. And if we have any tech issues here, don't worry about it. At least we'll have the audio cast and it'll look good on camera here. Okay, so you go through all these things. Now, I would imagine that as the show grew in popularity, you started actually receiving lots more products. How did technology providers and people who manufacture the technology products find you? And explain that whole process from the actual getting all these topics. Because you're getting stuff sent to you, as I understand that. Is that not true?
No, it's true. So the way it works basically is in the beginning, you reach out to a ton of brands and you get no's a lot, but there's occasional brands that will say yes. So my first product review was an LG G4, which was sent out by LG. And that was like their flagship phone of the year. So that was a couple years back. And then from there, once your channel and your audience starts to grow, other brands like find your videos, especially if they do well in terms of views. And if your like viewers are sharing it with the brand. And then a lot of brands now like contact me and they're like, oh, we've seen this video. We want to do a video on this product. So it's more so that, but there definitely was a long period of time and it's still occasional where I'm the one reaching out.
Okay. So you love technology products and you love sharing this message. As for the last 3 years, this has turned into a pretty consistent thing. When you started out, were you doing one show a week or one show a month? And explain how frequently you actually air updates on your channel.
So when I first started out, I was doing like whenever I had time. So they didn't take as long because I wasn't putting in like the production time that I'm putting in now. So I'd get up a couple in 1 week and then take like a couple of weeks off and then put another one up. So it was very inconsistent. I didn't like consider it a job or anything. It was kind of just a hobby. Whereas now it's a lot more regular. So I try to post like 1 to 2 videos a week. When I have a lot of stuff going on, it might be a little bit less, but on average, it's like 1 video a week as of now. But I'm hoping that like by this time next year, I can get like 3 videos up a week.
Now, speaking to somebody that started off with 1 episode a week, and now we've gotten to 3 to 4 episodes a week.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's a little bit crazy. But I've seen the quality of your videos. Now, obviously from that first, as you said, the quality wasn't so great from the first video and unboxing a microphone, which I'd be curious to know what microphone it was and if you like it.
Actually, the one I'm using right now.
It is. I love.
Yeah.
This is a good one. We can call the people over at Yeti and we could talk about their microphones as well. So from that first video, I've seen some recent videos. We're not talking about just your regular, laptop camera anymore. We're talking about some really well-produced productions that are going on the show. Can you talk a little bit about how the production of what's going on your channel has grown over time?
Yeah, so when I first started out, I was using an $180 like camcorder, shot like 1080p. It was okay. I didn't really know how to use a camera back then either, so it wouldn't have really made sense to invest in something more expensive. So I used that for like a year, or I guess until 1,000 subscribers, and then I bought my first DSLR, which is like a much higher quality camera for photography and video. And I used that. That was a 70D for like maybe a year also, and it was a really good camera. But it capped out at 1080p, and everyone in like the tech space shoots, or many people shoot like 4K, which is basically like 4 times the resolution of 1080. So I bought my first like 4K camera a year ago about this time, and the quality has definitely gone up from there. But it's not all about the gear. It's also just a lot of like learning how to use a camera. So I watched a lot of tutorials. I had a bunch of friends that helped me out, and that's kind of the progression of the quality.
So you can tell just by your knowledge of technology, even just describing every one of the cameras, that you have a thing for technology and a passion for it, which is great. When you started this idea out, did you ever think that it would turn into, as that many followers are on this channel, people are actually going to this site to learn about it? And as I understand, there might even be technology sponsors and even revenue associated with the site. Talk to me about what you thought this was going to be in the beginning and what it has grown to.
So in the beginning, I definitely did not think it was going to be a big thing. I remember I hit like 6 subscribers, and I printed out the page and I showed it to my parents, and I was like, I hit 6 subscribers, and we were all very happy about it. And now if I get that money in a day, it's like a low day. So it definitely has become a lot bigger than I ever would have thought it would be. But it's also been small progression as it goes on. It's been 3 years, so in the beginning, I hit 1,000 subscribers after 1 year, and then it kind of just started growing. So it's been gradual, but it definitely is not ever what I expected it to be.
Okay. Are you happy with what you've expected to be? Because this is pretty crazy how it's almost, you look like a chart that's shooting to the moon here. So could you have ever imagined you'd have this many people following the show?
I mean, definitely not. I'm obviously happy with it, but as you keep growing, then you just want more and more things. So there's definitely other goals that I'm going for now, but I mean, I'm so thankful for everyone that has subscribed. It's been pretty amazing. Okay.
So now I want to ask these questions. You are a teenage woman, and if that's the right term to put this, and you started this off at 13 years old. I'm pretty familiar with how busy a life is as a student. And someone to do this, how do you jam in all of the stuff that you do because you do prep work for these shows. You can see they're very well produced. Oh, and by the way, I'm sure you have a life. How do you balance all of this together?
Honestly, it's been tough occasionally. It's getting up early and it's staying up really late a lot of nights. So the weekend is where I get a lot of my work done. So I'll stay up let's say until 2 in the morning on Friday, and then get up really early on Saturday and get the work done, especially when you're on a contract with a sponsor or you have to get a video done. I did a lot of work for Android Central, which is another YouTube channel last year, and there would be that I needed to get to them 1 or 2 videos a week, and it just had to get done. So it was time management. It was learning how to not procrastinate all the time. It was doing things while I was free during the day, and doing things and maybe not going out every single night on the weekend, maybe saying, all right, I'm only going to go out on Fridays, or I'm only going to go out on Saturdays and get work done the other night.
Okay, so Jacqueline, my question here is a good one. A lot of the listeners here on Thrive Loud have their own businesses or are always looking at growth and how you get from point A to point B and how do you actually not only do well, but thrive loud. You've done something really unique here, but let's give a little background. help the listeners understand a little bit about the business of running a YouTube channel. And in every business and every site is different. Can you talk a little bit, and you don't have to go into too many specifics, but go into enough to help people understand where the potential is and where the money is hidden or where it lies in your world?
Okay, so for YouTube, I think a common misconception is that YouTubers make their money from AdSense. And AdSense is basically YouTube's way of paying out YouTubers, so you get paid per 1,000 views. So like the CPM, which is like how much you get paid per 1,000, can vary from like $1 to $7 for like gaming channels. So if you're only making $1 per 1,000 views, as a smaller creator, it's very hard to make any type of substantial income from it. So a lot of people see it and they're like, oh, you don't really make that much from YouTube. You're putting in all of this time. But AdSense doesn't even like make up a significant portion of my income at all. The main things that actually smaller YouTubers and main YouTubers in general make is from affiliate links and also sponsors. So affiliate links is like if I'm showing a product and I link it in the description, with Amazon, Amazon will pay me a percentage if someone buys it. So people make a ton of money from that. Like I know people that make their entire living just off of affiliate, especially if you're showing a lot of cheap products that people are going to want all the time. And then the second way is like sponsorship. So having a brand pay you to make a video or do a pre-roll ad or be part of a video that they're making. And that definitely makes up most of my income. And then affiliate helps to kind of even that out. But AdSense isn't really there as of now. When you're a channel with like millions of views every day, it definitely gives you something, but you're making a lot more in sponsorships all the time.
So this is a good question because you can see that you're passionate, obviously, about technology, passionate about the channel that you have, and obviously excited about the potential revenue that it can make. What do you love more, actually? The fact that this is a growing business that's on there, or that you get to do the stuff that you love and you're basically playing with toys? You get a chance to play with technology products all day long. Which do you like better of where we are today? I know it might have been a little bit different when you first started. Give us the progression so the listeners can understand.
I definitely like not like the business side of it better. I definitely like just being able to make the videos. Like if I could just have a consistent source of income and not have to worry about closing the sponsorship deals and worrying about affiliate, that would be my preferred choice. But the business side of it allows me to then invest in studio space and in new products and other things that I want to do on the channel that I couldn't afford before. So the business kind of, I'm putting a lot of money back into the channel to kind of grow it into something that then becomes really profitable, hopefully in the future. But I'm definitely not really that concerned with the money. It helps do things, but I definitely like the job of playing with toys a little bit better, obviously.
Okay, so help the listeners understand this part. You have been doing this for 3 years. You are still a teenager, and you're looking ahead and saying, okay, I've got a business and I continue to grow. Are you thinking of a long-term plan on where this goes, or is it something that you'll continue to go or just see where it is, or is there a real legitimate plan for where you want this business to be?
Kind of, I'm going to see where it goes. I definitely want to pursue college. So that is still going to be, YouTube's not going to be a full-time job for a while. It's always going to kind of be on the side with my education. So I haven't really fully planned something out. If we're talking about like after college, hopefully I can pursue it full-time, have a dedicated spot and do it as like a full-time job. But right now it's definitely still like in the works of planning that all out. And I obviously have like education and stuff coming first.
Okay. Jacqueline, I ask this question to every Thrive Loud guest, and I'm very curious to know where this goes. When you are having an off day, which I don't think has ever existed, it's to sound like at least between the ages of 13 and 16, when you're having an off day and you want to get back on the thriving track, who or what do you turn to personally to get yourself back thriving again?
Okay, so an off day in terms of like business or just like in terms of like general an off day?
Personal off day, whatever it is, you're working hard as a student, you're working hard on this channel, you always come with creative things. There's so many things going on, but every now and then we have a bad day. So maybe there's someone you turn to, a certain sensei, if you will, or maybe there's a personal practice that you do or something that you do in your free time, which I can't imagine you have any.
So for me, in terms of like a mentor and like who helps me like in an off day, a lot of other YouTubers that I talk to, because they kind of understand, like a lot of people think that you're just like putting down the camera and filming for a couple hours and then it goes up, but there's so much like behind the scenes work that goes into it that people don't see. And then you kind of beat yourself up for not being consistent, or you want your quality to be better than it is. And the only other people that really understand that are other YouTubers. So I definitely turn to other creators and I talk to them and they kind of talk me through it. I mean, I've been like really lucky not to have that many off days, but when I'm feeling down about like a video or something, YouTubers are definitely like there because they really understand what you're going through.
So that's really great. And that's a good point, because for the Thrive Loud listeners on the show, we've had many other podcasters come on the show as guests. And I also do speaking, and I have a lot of speakers. And that is so true, that your peer group is actually a great way to help motivate you and get you back to what you need to, or get ideas. And maybe this is a good segue to this, and that is this YouTube community, and these users like yourself that have these large groups of people, and there are ones I know that have millions of subscribers that are out there that are, not only making lots of money doing this, but have become icons in this. Is that something that you potentially see yourself as? You can look at some of the paths that other YouTubers have done, and they must be inspired by you, because how many of them are your age?
Yeah, that's a good point. I can't actually think of many that are both like a female and my age. There's a couple of other guys that are a little bit older than me, but Marquez Brownlee is like one of the most like famous YouTubers. MKBHD is like what his name is on YouTube. He started at 14, now he's 24, so he kind of has definitely helped me like see like the kind of path of still going to college and still pursuing it, and now he's doing it completely full time. But it definitely is inspiring to see other creators, but everyone kind of does a different thing. Like I know many people that didn't go to college and just pursued YouTube like right out of high school, and I don't really see myself doing that, but it's definitely good and interesting like to get everyone else's perspective on like what they think you should do to improve your quality and like kind of make it a full-time job.
Awesome. Okay, so talk a little bit about the channel, some of the things that you have in store that the viewers, both on your channel right now as we're looking, and the listeners on Thrive Loud, they can learn what's coming up on your channel, certain things that you're thinking about doing or adding that we can be looking at over the next few weeks, months, whatever it might be. Because I know that the one thing I've noticed about you in your content is that it continues not only to get better in the different types of products, but even the way that you communicate it is different on the way that you show it. Just as an example for the listeners, Jacqueline actually took different phones and was showing the camera displays, and then actually went out and showed the actual results of what the images and the pictures or the videos came out. It was really cool and a great way to not only hear from you, but see it as well. Yeah,
so it definitely is always trying to do something different. A couple weeks back, or I guess maybe a month or two ago, I shot with another photographer, and that definitely improved the quality a lot because I was able to get like shots of myself. Whereas when it's only one person, I can get shots of like the product, but I can't necessarily focus myself, move the camera. So that definitely adds a different element to it. And then in terms of like the business side, I have started the second channel where I produce like more vlogs and how-to stuff. And I made a video on there like 4 months ago on how to make money on YouTube, when I walked through like each step of like, here's what you got to do, and like this is where YouTubers make their money from. And people wanted more of that, so I'm thinking that this summer I'm going to try to also increase that channel and kind of make it how to make YouTube like a business and kind of the behind the scenes of an everyday in the life of a YouTuber kind of thing.
I got to tell you, when I was your age, I was not, obviously we didn't have YouTube and we didn't have any of that stuff, but to have this drive that you have and this focus is awesome. And I hope our listeners and all the viewers get to appreciate this. Okay, so here's a good question: what in the life of being a YouTuber, is there any downside or negative to the world that you're at, or something that's happened to you that you never would have expected, that might have been an unexpected bad thing having your own YouTube channel?
Okay, so I think that there's two things for this. The first one is like learning time management at a young age. There's definitely been times where my friends want to go out or something and I just have a video I have to get done, so I can't. So it's knowing that like the life of a YouTuber isn't always just like producing videos and having a good time. There's also like real work that goes in behind, which I definitely like did not fully understand until I was doing it. So it's like having the time management and like knowing what you can and can't do. And then I guess the second thing is knowing that like with having such a large audience, you're going to get occasional hate comments, and you're also going to get people that like really, really want to like know more about you and kind of want to meet you and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, there's, the fame and anonymity thing, to get hit with that at a young age is probably not a good thing. But in the same sense, it is kind of a cool thing though, because you get to do a brand and people get to recognize you for it. And I think, look, those are the ups and downs of it. I guess you balance it out, and you seem to be doing a good job. You're way more mature. You're the most mature 16-year-old I think I've run into in a while. So, okay. So let's do this. Let's do for the audio listeners here on the Thrive Loud show. Give us all the plugs and places where people can learn about Jacqueline Dallas, where the YouTube site is, any social media and stuff like that. That's stuff that we'll put in all the show notes as well as a link as well, so our audio listeners can listen in. So why don't you provide that right now?
Okay, so the main platform is YouTube. So you would find that at youtube.com/nothingbutTech88, two T's in that. Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter are all NBT88YT, and you'll kind of see some more lifestyle and behind the scenes stuff on there. The website is also nothingbutTech88.com, and that will kind of link you to the t-shirt brands and all the other websites that I just mentioned.
Awesome. So Jacqueline, I'm going to give the standard Thrive Loud question and then a bonus one because I'm very curious to know where this one is going to go.
Okay.
Jacqueline Dallas, your all-time favorite movie?
I don't know if I have great taste in movies, but I saw Now You See Me a couple years back, and I really liked that one. I don't know if like that's an all-time favorite, but it was really good. In terms of cinematography, Guardians of the Galaxy I thought was like really good.
Oh, it's awesome. Did you happen to check out the new the Avengers movie, the new whatever it is?
It yet, but I want to.
It's worth seeing. Yes, I saw it, and they've got every Marvel movie all meshed together. It's like the ultimate mashup movie. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, his effects were good, and Now You See Me, and even the sequel was pretty good.
The sequel was really good too. Yeah,
and I'm a big Magic fan, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the question that we have to ask a YouTuber, since it's not easy to pick your favorite YouTube channel that isn't your own, maybe give like your top 3 YouTube personalities or YouTube channels that you think are your favorite, and that could be good recommendations for others as well.
Okay, I don't want to like say my favorites, but right now, people I'm really liking are Casey Neistat. So he's like a vlogger, tech reviewer. He's based out of New York City. He has like 10 million subscribers. He's a pretty big deal. Marquez Brownlee is one of my favorite tech reviewers. And then in terms of like other people that I just like watching, Matt Schaefer, who used to be a tech reviewer, is now getting into more business and venture capital stuff. And I've been really enjoying his stuff too.
Well, you have a subscriber in me, and I'm sure we're going to get more on the Thrive Loud community onto your channel. So, we'll keep you up there. And Jacqueline Dallas, there are so many great things to come for you because what you've done already is already impressive. And it was such a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to listen to all your other guests.
Oh, it's great. And a total pleasure. And this is me signing off to your channel, folks, and to make sure that people subscribe to Thrive Loud at thriveloud.com and anywhere on social media at Thrive Loud. And to all the Thrive Loud listeners out there, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
Thank you, guys.